So another week and another blister. This week is the 3rd of December 2020, and we'll get straight into it. So left the industry this week, same as last week, 33. Switch licensees, a higher one this week at 45, and we'll get into that, and join the industry too. So a net loss overall of 31. Shout out to the switches. So Sanjay AMP going to Lifespan, Troy Edmondson, so Madison Financial Group, and my aforementioned comment around switched licensees going to Hive Group, a new license of 6 advisors. So 6 of those advisors moving from Madison to Hive Group. And Alexander Rankin, a relatively new advisor to the industry, moving from Financial Services Partners to the recently formed Wealth Trail. And here I am in Alexander's hometown in Mount Waverley, down in Melbourne. I think I'm in a park, Waverley Reserve. It's actually highly rated, given where ratings and review sites. I do look at those things. I should take my kids to that playground there in the background. So top gains for the week, Midsec Financial Advisors, and they've come across from Lonsdale. So 11 advisors there. Hive Group, as I mentioned before, coming over from Madison, new license, 6 advisors. Lambert Group, up 5, so recently formed in November by Ron Lambert. Now sitting at 7 advisors. Lifespan up 4, and Havana Financial Services and Wealth Trail up 3. Top losses for the week. So AMP gets knocked off its perch this week with 8 advisors. So Lonsdale takes the top spot with that Midsec license being formed with 14 losses. Hillross have lost a total of 9. Madison down 8. PIS at 6, and 6 lost from Clearview going to Lambert Group, as I mentioned previously. So quote of the week, and this really goes to the raft of new fact find and client onboarding tools that are coming into the market. And this one particularly relates to Alex's article in the AFR regarding the Lumient Equitize raise recently, or the crowdsource raise undertaken by Santiago Burridge. And it makes mention of Joe Duran, the highly known or famous Joe Duran in the US, who started United Capital and sold it recently to Goldman Sachs. With each news cycle, Joe Duran became more confident that the worst elements of the industry were slipping away, and advisors, consumers, and regulators are waking up to what he calls the patchwork of ill-conceived product-based technologies and legacy business models. And I think I've mentioned in the past that Australia is very much at the forefront of that, mostly due to the fact that I guess a lot of it's been regulatory driven and compliance driven, but I know speaking to a lot of the technologists that are out there, they have foreseen what's been happening in the US, and we've somewhat, I guess, overtaken them when it comes to, and by forced means, I guess, when you look at it from a regulatory perspective in terms of using technologies better as costs increase for the advice community. So on our platform, we've actually got a smart tool register, and we'll add to that where advisors can start to look at and entertain new ways of using technology to reduce costs in the business. And obviously one of those is the recently formed and the recently capitalized Lumient. And just to end it for the week, if you haven't done so already, please go to and fill out your survey at advisorratings.com.au/yoursay, and a bunch of prizes garnered and $30,000 worth garnered by the team. So I'd encourage all advisors to do that. We're actually hitting record response rates this year. And obviously the more responses we get, the better the data in terms of giving you your own personalised report in your area, be it the central part of Adelaide, be it the inner west suburbs of Perth or the eastern suburbs of Sydney. So please take the time. It takes about 15 minutes to go through the survey. So that's it for the week. We'll be back again next week.